good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you might be. Look at this. We are at the beach today. I'm glad to be able to bring you with me. So I hope this makes it a better day for you right now. Just the fact that I can bring you this beautiful scenery. Ah, you hear that water? Well, welcome to Escape from Crazytown. I am so glad to have you here. And welcome to Happy Crappy Hour. Let me turn off a few things. I want to make sure that we don't get interrupted. So I'm going to put in my, see, I just got interrupted. Where's the no, do not disturb? There it is. Okay. Turn that on. Well, you guys, it is Christmas week. So this is, coming up close to New Year's, and we're going to be entering into 2021. And what better way to start with 2021 or prepare for that than to talk about what it is we're leaving behind and why we're leaving it behind, why it's a good thing, right? Because there is a cost to staying with a narcissist. And I know a lot of people tend to stay with a narcissist because it's familiar and it's maybe even comfortable to a certain extent, right? And maybe less scary than being out on your own. But even before we do that, let's talk about Happy Crappy Hour. We are here, oh, look at these little guys. We're here to talk about what went well this week and what did not go well this week and how we learn from both, right? We want to continue doing the things that worked and made things better in our life and stop doing the things that were a mistake and made our lives worse. Like maybe contacting the narcissist, right? Or maybe missing the narcissist. That never turns out well. Look at that, there's an airplane up there. Am I even catching it? There it is. Well, my happy this week is that I get to go to the beach. This is fantastic, and it teaches me that sometimes we need to just get away. We need a change of scenery, something more beautiful, something that's going to make you feel alive again, make you feel like, oh yeah, this is what I like, good reminders. And that's what I would highly suggest to you guys. If you have a favorite park you like to go to, even a favorite movie you like to watch, something that helps you escape the doldrums of life or whatever area you might be in your life right now, if it's sadness and you just need a change of scenery. Changing your scenery just makes your whole mind change. You give yourself a mind shift, an emotional shift. I hope you guys can hear me all right because traffic is going by pretty close, but this is one of the best areas I can find for you guys. This is so beautiful here. So my crappy this week was that I had to fly, and I really, we were packed in like sardines, and you meet a lot of interesting people when you're packed in like sardines. So anyway, yeah, sat next to somebody who was pretty smelly. It was really gross. So that was my crappy. Maybe what I learned from that is I need to bring some peppermints or something to smell while I'm on an airplane. I did bring snacks, but that did not do it. You guys, if you fly, if you travel, please remember, the way we used to do this is people would shower and dress nicely when they would travel. But nowadays, people just go like from the gym or something, I don't know, or go 2 or 3 days without showering, and they're like, yeah, I got an airplane, I got a flight. So, and they just get on. Please do everybody a favor and take a shower, right? Hopefully we can spread that news and people will go back to showering before they get on airplanes. Oh my gosh. So, you guys, welcome. And today we're going to talk about the cost of being with a narcissist. I was watching a video that got me thinking how miserable people's lives could be, and yet they will go back to that misery rather than face uncertainty. And I was watching this interview, and I'll put a link to it, but it's called, I think the woman's name is Yeon May, Yeon and then MAE. I think that's what it was. But I was watching this interview with her on this channel called, I forget his first name, so this is bad. I did watch it last week, so I was trying to remember. But his last part of his name is Bet David, BETDAVID. Bet David. So if you guys look him up, he's got an awesome channel. He does a lot of really interesting, in-depth interviews. So he interviewed this woman who is a defector, someone who had escaped from North Korea. And I want to use instances like this from real life to draw parallels to the kind of misery and torture that you might have had in your relationships. Obviously to a lesser degree, maybe, because some people have had really torturous physical, torture going on in their relationship with their narc. Luckily, I did not. Well, I did to some extent, but not to the extent she was. She was starving to death, and she defected. To her, China looked good from North Korea. And I don't know if you guys know this. You can Google it, Google map it. It's insane. Do the satellite thing. But she said there's no darker place on earth than North Korea. So she showed this picture or I guess the interviewer did, Bet David, showed this picture of North Korea from a satellite at night. And no kidding, it looks like it's a blackout. There are no lights in North Korea except in the capital. And even the capital was not that bright. It's called Pyongyang, I think, is the capital of North Korea. But you see some lights around the borders of North Korea, and that would likely be the countries that border North Korea and would have lights on their borders, along their walls and such, and even towns that pop up along the borders because border patrol people need to live somewhere. So she talks about the darkest place on earth is North Korea. And I'm going to tell you something that's really shocked me at the end of her entire interview. At the end of it, she said that there have been people who have escaped North Korea and they try to live the life that's in the Western world, and even not totally Western world, right? They could even go to China, and suddenly they have freedoms they never have had before. They're no longer mind controlled. They can see things that in North Korea they don't allow you to see. They have that much control over you. They can control what you see on the internet, and even allow you or not allow you to have access to the internet. They censor everything that has to do with freedom because they don't want you to have the thought that you could be free. She said there was no word in her language for stress, anything, or depression. No stress, no depression, right? Because if you don't have the words, how can you feel them? And actually, there is something psychological about it. Now, they still struggle. They just had no words to describe what they were struggling through. They knew they were hungry, and they never felt full. Like, they never experienced a full stomach in North Korea. She was talking about how even through all of that, people come out of there and then they're given choices. They're told what, or they're asked, she said one of the things, I'll jump right into this. She said one of the things that kind of blew her mind was she was getting introduced, because when she defected, people wanted to hear her story. So when she was being introduced, they would ask her, so tell us about yourself. And she's like, what do you mean about myself, right? Like, you've never been taught about yourself. Like, why think about yourself other than I'm hungry and I need to find food? And so she asked, what do you mean? And they said, your hobbies. Tell us about what you like and what you don't like and what your hobbies are. What do you like to do? And she was just dumbfounded. She was like, I don't know what I like to do. I don't know anything but to be on the verge of life and death. She didn't know how to choose. She didn't know what she liked because it never occurred to her. Like, when she and her sister would talk about what they want in the future, what they wanted was food. They dreamt of having a full stomach. Like, that was their dream. And that was it. So she was talking about how some defectors that come out of North Korea, when they're faced with these choices, even when she went to the store and she was asked, well, what what kind of clothes do you want? She's like, well, I want a pair of pants. And they show her 27 different kinds of pants. And she's like, what is this? How can I choose? I don't even know what to wear. Because in North Korea, they tell you what to wear. They actually tell you what women are supposed to wear, what clothing, what style, even down to their hairstyle. This is the hairstyle you can have, and they're very, very similar, all the hairstyles. And then same thing for men. You wore certain clothing, and that was it. You get to choose between 2 or 3 things. So she goes to a store, and they're showing her 27 pairs of pants and ask her, so yeah, which one would you like? Or which style? And then we'll get you the right size. And she's just, what? She said this was really stressful on her, trying to make these kinds of decisions. And honestly, I kind of vaguely, in a very small way, can identify with that, because I'm the kind of person that if you give me fewer choices, I feel very much at home. And that could come from the fact that I came from a narcissistic parent, right? Was raised by one. Narcissistic parents do not give you choices. They're not like, gee, dear, what would you like to have for dinner? Or what would you like for clothing? No, I did not go shopping. I did not go find clothing. I was just given what I was given, and that's what I wore. So I can identify a bit. So even today, decades later, after having grown up from that, it's hard for me to make decisions when there are just so many options. Like, when you want to pick out something and they give you 20 to 50 options, like looking at a menu is somewhat stressful to me, because I'm like, why are there so many options? What if I choose something I don't like, and then I'm stuck with it, and then I have to pay for this, and then, all this bizarre stress comes on me. Well, to a, million times worse, it happens to these defectors from these countries who are controlled. And she said some of them will actually go back. They'll go back to North Korea because they feel some kind of comfort in having less choice and having someone make choices for them. That's the absolute insanity of it, you guys, or maybe the scary thing about it. And that's why I think a lot of people go back to the narcissist, because even as bad as it was, at least it was familiar. At least they didn't have to make decisions. The narcissist made all the decisions for them. Things seem to have taken care of themselves, right? And not necessarily that the narcissist took care of you or had a great job or financially provided for you, but you knew kind of day to day what to expect. You knew that in the morning what the narcissist, that you were going to be afraid that the narcissist could be yelling at you, could be already upset. You knew kind of like when to turn on the fear and when not to, when to relax. Like when the narcissist was away or had left the house, you can relax. And then when the narcissist comes back, you got to be back on edge again, right? It's like a familiarity of your day where, you don't have to decide like, okay, I'm relaxed all the time now that the narc is not here and I've left the narc. And now I got to fill my time with something. I got to figure out what to do with my day. I have to figure out what to do with my life. And that can be scary to a lot of people. So they think it might have been better to go back to the narcissist. And for some reason, right, they feel like, why is it that I feel a longing to go back? I think it has something to do with that story from the woman who defected from North Korea. It's a place where you didn't have to make decisions, and there's some amount of comfort to that, but the sad thing is you've been trained not to make decisions. You've been trained that decisions are scary. And I don't know about you, but I'm drawn to people who are free loving and free expressing and have no trouble speaking their mind. I'm just like, wow, to be that free. I just, for a long time I couldn't understand it. I didn't know what, actually at first it annoyed me that people can do that. These types of people, they seem kind of arrogant to me, or they seem like too confident. Like how could they possibly be this confident? It must be fake. And honestly, I've gotten to a point where I am more and more like that. I'm more and more confident. The longer I'm away from the narcissist, the more I become myself. right? The more choices I make for myself, even bad choices, I come to realize, oh, that wasn't the end of the world. We can recuperate from this. The world continues on. And actually, I learned something from that. So it wasn't all bad. And that's why I love to do Happy Crappy Hour, you guys, because even the bad things that happen to us, we can learn from. And when you learn from it, you're like, wow, had that not happened, I wouldn't have learned this lesson. I wouldn't have become stronger. I wouldn't have become more confident in myself and my abilities. I wouldn't have figured out how to get through these things, right? And through maybe worse things that, after whatever incident happened to you, worse things happen, and you're like, oh, no problem. I've done this before. I can get myself out, right? Yeah, like maybe missing a payment, a bill, right? Oh my gosh, now I'm fined, and or getting a really terrible traffic ticket because you didn't realize what the speed limit was, and here you are doing 20 above the speed limit, and you get this $300 ticket, and you're like, what the heck? I don't have the money for this, and you think, this is terrible. My whole month is ruined, and then, you know what? The faster you come to find out, the faster you deal with those mistakes, the faster you pay the fine, the faster you take responsibility, the faster you deal with it, and then let it go. The faster you can let it go. And that has been a huge lesson in my life that I did not learn with a narcissist. With a narcissist, the cost is that every bad thing is the end of the world. Every bad thing that happens is the end of the world. And the narcissist lets you know that, right? Every bad decision you make or every mistake you make, it's the end of the world. And you have to pay for this, not just once, but the rest of the time that you're with the narcissist, or whenever they remember, you got to pay for it again. Remember that time you made me late? Remember that time we missed our reservation? Remember that time, and they will have a long, long list of really stupid little things. Hardly anything to worry about, right? Now that you're free from them, you're like, why? Why did they worry about these things? What was the big deal? So we were 10 minutes late and we missed the previews of a movie. Big deal, right? We still caught the beginning, or maybe you even missed the first 5 minutes of a movie. Guess what? Life goes on. And then later on, you're able to see the first 5 minutes and you figure out, like, wow, the first 5 minutes really was nothing. It was all landscape shots preparing you for the movie, and there was nothing. And you realize, why did the narcissist make my life miserable for months for that one thing? But sadly, people will go back to that. They know what the cost is, and they'll still go back to it because they're afraid. And I want to help you guys get past that. I want you to see what the cost is staying with a narcissist, where you give up your freedom and you become somebody who is fearful and unable to really embrace life. And look at this, you guys. Look at this out here. You could be jumping into the water, which I'm going to be doing later on, by the way. You could be jumping in the water, swimming. You could go out and get a jet ski. You could get a kayak. You could be out there enjoying your life. Or you can stay right here next to this tree, never moving, never touching the water, never experiencing what it's like to be in the water. Oh, there's a book that a friend gave to me, and I haven't read it yet, and I really should. I've had it for a long time. It's called If You Want to Walk on Water, You Have to Get Out of the Boat. So let me say that again. If you want to walk on water, you have to get out of the boat. And for those of you who may not know, it's a reference to Jesus when he walked on water, and Peter wanted to come out to him. And the only way Peter could reach him is to get out of the boat and walk on the water with Jesus. Yeah, absolutely crazy, right? Like who, what, no? And everybody knew, and Peter knew, if I get out of this boat, I'm going to sink. And Jesus holds out his hand like, no, come on out. And for a moment, Peter believed, right? For a moment, Peter believed, if my Savior is standing on water, and he's calling me to come out with him, of course, I should come out with him. So he gets out of the boat, and he stands on the water for a moment. His faith was that strong. But then he started getting scared. the fear of drowning, the fear of sinking, the fear of what he knew physically, what this world is made out of, right? Water. We don't walk on water. When that came back into his mind, he started to sink, and he lost his faith that his what is it? His assurance, right? He lost his ability to be secure with the person that he knew could do this. We tend to do that too. When we start getting out on our own and we start having some success and we get a job and we're starting to pay off bills and we're living in a, maybe not the best place, but a place that we can keep clean, a place that's our own, and then little by little maybe buy things to make it more comfortable, and then fear strikes us. And we think about, what if I can't pay this bill? What if I get evicted? What if the rent goes up? What if I get sick and then I can't go to work and pay for this life? We start to worry, and when we do that, we start to sabotage ourselves. We don't even need the narcissist, right, to sabotage ourselves, because we've become attuned to doing that. That's part of the cost of living with a narcissist. They teach you to question yourself constantly. They teach you to live in fear. They teach you to doubt yourself always. They don't ever say, "Oh, good job. You did a great job." And maybe actually, I shouldn't say they never. Maybe they do, but then you question it, like, do they mean this? Is this real? And for a moment you feel like, "Oh, wow, I got a compliment." And then a moment later, they're putting you down again and taking that confidence away. That's the cost of being with a narcissist. Well, you guys, I want to check on and see how you all are doing. I did not even greet you this morning. God's promises, good morning. She says, "Hello, everyone. Wow, so beautiful. Isn't it? This is a beautiful, beautiful day." You guys, if ever there's a beautiful day, wherever you are, get out of the house and get into it. Get into the sun. And even if your scenery is not this nice and maybe you're looking at a side of a building, which is possibly where you're living next to, right? Get out to where the sun can touch your face and just feel the warmth of the sun. Even on a cold day, you can feel the warmth of the sun. You just need to do that for yourself. And John, good to see you. Says, "Good morning. Let me start off saying I got a happy birthday and I miss you all in the same day." Oh no, from the narc that keeps hounding you. I'm so sorry. Hoovering you. Well, I mean, you know what? Just go, that's nice, and then let it go. Just, you cannot hold on and wish for and hope for something you already know is dark and ugly. Good morning, Dangerous Conversations. And Angel 7. Oh, that's a good idea. Happy birthday, John. God's promises says. And yes, happy birthday, John. I hope you are having the best birthday. Angel 7 says, "Beautiful scenery." And I cannot, Frost is best in the world. Says, "About to jump in the shower, so won't be able to listen in." I did have a thought, though, that's relevant to this title. I don't know whether to feel sorry for him having to live with her or not. I'll tell you right now, you can feel sorry for him. That's the thing. A lot of times people will think about the new supply and they're jealous, and they're like, why does the new supply get to have this security, right? Why does the new supply get to have maybe even the financial benefits of being with a narcissist? Why does the new supply get to be with someone and not alone? And you think about it, though, what is the cost to the new supply for this financial security, possibly? It's not really secure, by the way. It's not financial security when at any point the narcissist can drop them. At any point the narcissist will discard them. There's no security with a narcissist. There's no time that a person can sit back and relax and think, this is great. This is going to be great. other than when they're deceived, right? Other than when they are being deceived that this is their forever future, the future faking, right? Other than when the narcissist is nice for a moment and they can enjoy sort of that moment, but not really, because you can't ever let down completely or let your guard down completely when you're with a narcissist. You never, never, ever can let your guard down completely with a narcissist. You're always on edge. So yeah, I would feel sorry for the new supply. Yep. Hold on, you guys. Oh, good. You found Bet David's channel. Yes. Wow. John says, she sent me a birthday present and a Christmas present. Asked me if I was single. I said yes. Then she said she wished she still was. Wow. Yeah. You know, I have had that. Narcissists are not happy. They just aren't. They're never happy with what they have. And not only that, but whoever they're with can never fulfill everything the narcissist wants, because the narcissist doesn't even know what they really want. They're never satisfied. They're just not content people. You know, was kind of surprising to me was the word happy in French is content. Content is how they pronounce it, right? And at first I was like, that's weird, because in America, when we say content, we don't think happy. We just think like, yeah, it's good. It's satisfactory. But really, the only thing that can make you happy is when you're content. And if a narcissist can never be content, they cannot understand what happiness is. They know what fleeting happiness is, but if they don't know what contentment is, then they cannot understand that happiness is more than what they can achieve, or more than what they can buy, or more than the very temporary things in their life. Yeah. Frost is best in the world. It says, on one hand, he's an old man who is down on his luck. Hold on, you guys. But then again, after she left me, it gave him a sense of power where he acted like, oh, I'm a shiny knight, and gloated in everything about it. Oh. Oh, because that's what a narcissist does, and why it's the love bombing stage of a narcissist. They make you feel like you're their soulmate, right? They make you feel like you're perfect. They make you feel like you're strong. They make you feel like you're so intelligent and so beautiful and so handsome, right? So funny. And oh my gosh, you guys, whenever I watch this show, that's what reminds me. You guys ever watch The Bachelor or Bachelorette? Okay, not saying that these people are all fake and phony and all that, but there are times, or maybe a lot of times when I'm watching them, and not that I watch them a lot, but I was watching it last night with a friend of mine, an episode, and it makes me think the people who fall in love during those times of, all they have are, couple hour dates, right? And of course the narcissist during that time can turn on the charm, can be super focused on the subject, on the supply. And the supply thinks, oh my gosh, this is the best I've ever felt. Now we have so much fun together. They're always laughing. They're so adventurous. They splash around in the water with me. They do things that I'm not used to, right? And they're so free and free loving. And they think, I'm just so in love with this. Now, here's something you can learn. You can learn that, wow, yeah, that is great. I do want to add this part to my life. I do like to be free and unabandoned and just enjoy and jump in, even if the water's cold, right? And enjoy myself and laugh and not care how loud I'm laughing, and just enjoy the person I'm with. We can all learn that. We can all incorporate that in our life. The narcissist does it, though, as a tool, as a trap, as a way to get, because they know not a lot of people behave that way. They know that that's attractive. They know that that entices people and gets them to fall in love with them, right? Because they can hyper focus on the supply and get the supply to believe and think that this is the only way that I will enjoy life is if I have this narcissist in my life. They're the only one who can do this in my life. They're the only ones who can provide this kind of life and enjoyment. And the the crazy thing is they do that with the new supply. And that's why the new supply, Frost, is acting like, oh, I'm this big shiny knight because, well, the narcissist is treating them that way. But behind closed doors and down the road some, you know that they're just tearing that armor off of that knight and stomping on them and telling them how horrible they are. And, you know, how they messed up the narcissist's life and all their mistakes are the worst thing ever. And their old supply did not used to do that. Yeah, that new supply is in for a rude awakening, if not has already had this rude awakening. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hold on, you guys, I'm coming back. Yeah. Dangerous conversation says, John, you're getting hoovered. I'm pretty sure John's aware of that as well. He shares all these hooverings with us throughout the years. Yeah, and Frosty, you can't convince them. It's their own choice. Yeah, you can't convince the new supply, the trap they're in. You can't convince them that they need to get out because first of all, the trap feels really good, right? The illusion is beautiful, and the feelings they're having are amazing. So to tell them in the midst of this wonderful love bombing stage that it's a trap, you're not going to get it. Oh, some people are walking by, so I'm going to stand up so we don't see them. Let me see. God's promises is so sad. This is what they are moving towards in America. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to see. What is it that we're moving towards in America? Oh, must be what I was talking about. Yeah, you know, how the censorship is happening and we're only allowed to make certain choices and they're not allowing us to see the truth. You guys, we got to be careful of that. Censorship is not a good thing. Fascist dictatorship type countries, they censor. They don't allow you to know something opposite of what they're trying to tell you. They're trying to tell you everything's wonderful right now. This is good. Everything that's happening or what we are going to promise you. And by the way, when someone gives you something free, have you heard this adage? Nothing is ever free. Nothing in this life is really ever free. So if someone's giving you something for free, there are always strings attached. And that's a lesson also to learn with a narcissist. Anytime a narcissist acts like, for absolutely no reason but the fact that you're a good person, I want to give you the best life ever. I want to be the best person for you. For absolutely no reason ever. And they make you dinner, they cook for you when you come home from work. Things are already done. Your clothes have been laundered and folded. They're tidying up everything. Man, life seems really great, right? You can be physically, intimate anytime you want. And it's like, oh, all of this is free? Not with a narcissist, you guys. It's never, ever free. It's going to cost you something. It's going to cost you your freedom. It's going to cost you your self-esteem, your identity. It may even cost you your financial stability. Because they may suddenly, not just suddenly, they may be digging you into incredible debt that you're not even aware of. And then when they leave you, you find out that they maxed out your credit cards. I mean, it is bad. Wow. Frost says, I never tried to convince him, the new supply that is, LOL, but she would pick fights and he'd jump in. Oh my gosh, like at the bar? What the heck kind of women do that? I never understood that. Actually, I do know one woman who has done that. And she did cause a bar brawl. The first bar brawl I'd ever, or only one really, that I'd ever been witness to and was actually right next to as it was happening, was because this guy I knew, his wife, I don't remember, I think they were married at that time, his new wife, she picked a fight with some young guys who were nearby, like insulting them, flat out insulting them. like very, very rude. I'm not going to talk about what she was insulting, but you can imagine. They're in other regions, I suppose. And of course, one of them gets really mad, and they can't hit her, right? So they go and they get into a fight with the husband. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but I knew the husband, and he. We look back now and we laugh about it. That's why I'm laughing. We look back now and we laugh about it because we're like, what the heck? Were you guys getting into a brawl for us? And we laugh about this bar brawl. But yeah, so she would pick fights and then he'd jump in. That's her whole strategy. As if he feels sorry for her, then he will do whatever she wants. And at the point, I feel he deserves it, right? God's promises. Oh, okay, I already read that. It says, yeah, this is the world we're moving towards in America. He deserves whatever comes next, and it's true. Oh, yeah. And Angel 7 says, oh, I'm sure the mistress thinks she won a prize. Absolutely. Because, okay, the narcissist, they are excited by new relationships. They're excited at the newness of things. They always want to be at the beginning of a relationship, but not the middle of it. And, of course, not the end of it. Nobody wants to be at the end of it. But the real work, the real depth, the real part of the relationship is the middle of it. And that's where you build the security. That's where you build the trust. And then you bring the beginning of the relationship back into that. And you get the freshness and the joy and the excitement of the relationship. And that's how you keep a fresh relationship going. My husband and I love our relationship. Of course we have down days or down moments, or, it's not really days anymore. We used to have down days. And because we were both broken, we were both trying to figure life out. We're trying to figure out how to care for the other without hurting the other. And of course, always messing up. That's the middle. That's the middle of the relationship that their narcissist doesn't want to deal with. They only want the fun, exciting part in the beginning. When life becomes real and there are debts that need to be bills, right, that need to be paid, and someone gets sick and you can't go do what you wanted to do, and you lose a job, and so now your finances are lower, than you expected, or maybe non-existent, and you have to make a shift. You may even have to move. We've done all of that, by the way. We have had all of that. We've had illness. We have had job losses. We have had major issues come up in our life. Debts. We've been taken advantage of financially and made some bad financial decisions too. And now we've recovered through all of that together. Not perfectly, of course. We struggled through some of that. But for the most part, I want to say that the hardest things that hit us, the financial stuff, the physical, the illnesses, we came through that like, okay, I'm taking care of you. I care about you. And I want to make sure, we didn't lose hope. We just didn't lose hope with each other. And I think because we were able to do that through the stressful times, we have built up so much trust. We've built up a life where we can relax and let loose and put down our guard entirely and not worry. Are you guys catching this? Is this awesome? I want to rent one of those. I don't know how much it costs. But wouldn't that be awesome? Years and years ago, we rented a boat like that and went around, and it was so much fun. We're going to see if we can try to do that again. Angel 7 says, oh, I'm sure the mistress thinks she won a prize. Yes, I just read that. And that's why, because they think, oh, this is the beginning of the relationship, so they're on their perfect behavior. Dangerous Conversation says, when you escape Crazytown, you start to reject being controlled. Yeah. My crappy was people trying to control me, a grown adult, and tell me to stay home, to wear a mask, to avoid closeness with others. And I know a lot of people out there are going to disagree with all of that, but you guys, think about it. I'm out here and people are, it's inconsistent is what we're trying to say. And there are doctors who've come out talking about this. And I saw, and this is what I want to do. If you get a vape, I don't know if any of you guys vape. I don't recommend it, of course, because it's not good for your lungs. But people will vape right through the mask. I have seen this on video. I mean, look for it. whatever mask they wear. It doesn't matter what mask they're wearing. And that's one way to show what actually comes out of the mask. And this huge cloud will come right out and through, above and under and through the sides, but particularly through the mask. And I'm like, what the heck, people? Why are we not being shown this? And for us to think, okay, who's coughing in a mask? I don't think I've actually seen people cough inside of their mask. And they're trying to say, like, if you're coughing, that's when it protects you. And actually, coughing, even more will be coming through the mask than just breathing. And when you're vaping and just breathing, you'll see. You'll see. If you guys will try it or take a look, if you're doubtful, just take a look. That's what Dangerous Conversations is saying. God's promises, says Pastor Stephen Darby spoke on this for years. Narcissists are proof that Satan is real and he has children. Wow. The Bible says Jesus told them, you are of your father, the devil. Spiritual warfare. This is true. This is true. I do remember that scripture. Yeah. Angel 7 says, devil in the morning, drunk at night, and evil. That was her narcissist. Yeah. Dangerous Conversation says, they do speak the language of lies. Frosty, you're right. You learn from experience. Sorry, my hair is blowing in my face here. You learn from experience how to be your own person and decide for yourself, and the world won't end. True. When you're able to get away from the narcissist, you can actually start to live. You can actually, I like this, gotta forgive yourself and burn that list. The list I think Dangerous Conversations is talking about, the list of things that you blame yourself for, right? All your mistakes, the things you look back and you regret, and you get down on yourself for all the mistakes you made. Yeah, go ahead and burn that list. That's a good idea. Yeah, and Angel 7 says they always make the past a constant reminder. Oh, Emina, good to see you. Says, hi all from Germany. God's promises is dangerous. Yes, exactly. Frost in the World says, I wish I listened to these videos in high school instead of now. LOL. I know. So my videos, they say, is it made for children? And part of me is like, you know, people under 18. I'm thinking, yes, this is made for people 14 and up. Because when you're navigating relationships, wasn't it horrible in high school? You just automatically trusted people, and people would treat you badly, and yet you'd go back to them because you didn't know what else you could do. Yeah, we all need this. Monique says, good morning from Florida. Oh, awesome. I'm actually in Florida too. You recognize? No, Florida is a really large state, so I don't want to. Oh, that's cool. I am loving Florida. Oh, what part? Miami. In fact, I believe that's Miami right there. See if I can get some of this. Yeah, I don't want to go too far inland because there are people behind me. I don't want to capture them in the video. Oh, nice. God's Promises says, we had a sunny day, so I went to the lakefront a few days ago. It was beautiful and peaceful. Just brought joy to my heart. Yes. And good morning, Monique. Angel 7 says, the ex-narc never appreciated anything. Exactly. That's like contentment, right? Isn't that interesting? The word for happy in French is content, is the word content, content. So, that, you know, it got me thinking. I had a really hard time remembering that word for happy. I was like, wait, what's the word for happy? Because it just doesn't occur to me that when you're content, that you're happy. Not in America anyway, right? In America, we're like, if you're content, you're just like, middle of the ground, everything's fine. But actually it means if you can be happy, and content with something, you can definitely be happy. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Dangerous Conversation says, when you escape, you get to end the manipulation you've been getting from others. Ah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to that, because once you've been conditioned by the narcissist, you do tend to allow others to manipulate you, because you lose your ability to see where boundaries, healthy boundaries are, right? They demolish your boundaries. So then other people come in and they take advantage of you too, especially the narcissists, flying monkeys and their fan club. They'll come in and they'll take advantage of you too. Mina says, when I talked to the narc, I did make notes from the conversation. It was that bad. Wow. That's good that you took notes. Angel 7 says, Narc is as broke as a joke. He's driving her car now. That is funny, you know, because here she is thinking she's won a prize, but really he's latched on to her because she's got some assets that he is using. God's promises. The new supply is not lucky. They are doomed, yes, to fail with a narc. It never works. The longer you stay with a narc, the worse the pain is when it falls apart. Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you quit being manipulated, you are no longer a good supply for the narc. Oh, that's true. That's from Dangerous Conversations. When you start to get, you know, John, here's the deal. You've been away from the narc all this time, right? You've learned how to make decisions, good decisions for yourself. You've learned about boundaries. You've learned how to say no. You've learned to stand up for yourself. If you ever got back together with the narcissist again, the narcissist would hate the new you. They would not be able to stand the new you for longer than a couple of days. And not only that, because you're different, because you're stronger in your character, your ability to see their manipulation, you're not going to put up with it. You're going to be like, what the heck, get out. I see this manipulation now, get out. And you're not going to want that narcissist around. That's why when the narcissist comes back for a second time, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And then the crazy thing is, it'll happen for a third, fourth. Some people have taken back their narcissist 4 or 5 times, and they've attested that it gets worse each time. Yeah, because they're going to push even harder to get you, to control you, to get you under control, right? They're going to have to push harder because you're not going to put up with that. That's why it gets worse and worse. Because now, you know, you start to question. You're like, wait a minute. When I was away from you, I was able to do these things. I was able to go to the store without texting you every 5 minutes to let you know where I was. You know, you found a bit of freedom. Yeah. Amina says he had already 3 new women in 1 year. I hear he asks them for money. Yes, right? It's true. They are like this. Yeah, Angel 7 says sex is important, but it does not define true love. Yeah. Yeah, sex can be really good though. Not with a narcissist, by the way. With the real love of your life. Amina says, and all is in the future. Nothing ever is today or this week. It's all far away. You build on nothing. Yes, the entire future faking. And people will hold on for that because they think if I let go now, I'm not going to be able to achieve that future. Have you guys ever seen movies or shows where, oh my gosh, even soap operas, by the way, that's how they keep you. It's almost the entire time. The plot of a soap opera, now I got to think back to when I was a kid, because my mom used to watch soap operas all the time, which were annoying. But that was her day. I mean, she built her day around the soap opera. As you know, narcissists love soap operas. Their whole life is a soap opera. But in a real soap opera that's written on TV or for TV, what they do is they give you maybe 5 minutes, maybe even 15. Probably not even that. Probably about 10 minutes of new content in an entire hour show. Because what they do is they go back and they go back and they go back and they go back. And then they show you a little bit about the future, like what might be happening, is going to start happening. And they allude to the future. And maybe someone's interested in someone else. And maybe someone's going to have someone's baby. And maybe someone's sleeping with someone's brother. You know? I mean, they just keep showing this over and over and over again. alluding to some exciting drama, some dramatic climax is about to happen. And you're watching this stupid soap opera for like 55 minutes. And then they still keep alluding to maybe there's going to be some incredible drama that's about to happen. But you're going to have to wait till next time, right? Next time. You're like, what? No, what's going to happen? So you go back again, and you watch the next day, and they string you along again for another day. It takes them an entire week to finally tell you that something finally happened, right? And I just kind of feel like that's how it is with a narcissist. They keep telling you, one day we're going to have that house. One day we're going to go on this vacation. One day we're going to have a family. One day we can get a dog. Not this week. And then the next week comes. Well, not that week. Okay, maybe next month. I'm telling you, next month we're going to get this dog. You're going to love it. It's going to be the best dog ever. Blah, blah, blah. You know, and they'll just go on, and you just think, wow, this is going to be great. Or mainly, you stay, if they plan a financial future with you, how beautiful your future is going to be with a family. And meanwhile, you're staying with them for 5, 6, 7 years, and they still won't marry you, and they still don't want a family. And there's always something that comes up. Well, this year I didn't have, enough money, and next year I just started this job, so I got to really focus on it. And the next year is, well, we might have to move, so I don't want to do something if we might have to move, so I don't want to buy a house, I don't want to start a family. And then the next year, okay, I guess we didn't move, but now we really might move. So now you're in your 4th year. You're like, well, what the heck? All of this, you're just holding off for 4 years, telling me that we can't have a family, we can't get married, we can't buy a house because of all these reasons every year. And nothing's ever settled enough for the narcissist to finally say, okay, let's get married. Let's buy this house. Let's start our family. And then whatever happens, happens. You guys, the narcissist is stringing you along like a soap opera year after year, promising that something good is going to happen. And then people think, well, if I break up now after 4 years, now we're into our 5th year, what if they're ready to buy a house? What if they're ready to get married now? And if I walk out, I will have given up for almost 5 years of my life. And that's why we end up, why we stay. That's why people sometimes don't want to give up, because they think this future faking, or that fake future the narcissist gave them or talked about, is real. And they think they're actually going to lose something that never was, right? The cost of being with a narcissist is that you give up your life. Whatever amount of time you give with them, you have with them. Whether it's just a few months, or whether it's 5 years, or whether it's a few decades, you essentially give up life to be with them. But here's the good news, you guys. Even if you've been with them for decades, your life is now yours. Like you might have another decade. You might have several decades left of your life. One of the most inspiring things I had seen on YouTube were these people who are in their 70s and 80s, you guys. 70s and 80s, and they are in the best shape of their life. They're in better shape than they were when they were in their 30s. So it is never too late, you guys. It is never too late. And that's why sometimes, if you've been with me for a while, I have told you about certain little exercises that I do to just get you started. Just get started. Start moving. Start bending. Start stretching, people. Because it's never too late. And the sad thing is when I do see people who are saying, but my body this, but my body that. I saw a guy on YouTube, this was years ago, who he was this chunky, very round person, okay? He had to use a walker to get around, and I want to say he was probably in his late 30s, just in his 30s, you guys. And the doctors told him he would never walk again, and in fact, without a walker that is, and in fact, he's going to get worse. His body's going to continue to deteriorate. And it was deteriorating. He was only in his mid-30s. I think he had an accident of some kind that hurt his back when he was in the military. And then he gained a bunch of weight because he was sedentary, waiting for his back to heal. And then, of course, his body just continued to deteriorate because he did not build any muscle, he didn't do any stretching, he didn't, and he ate the same as he always did. Which is not to say like that's horrible, but if you're not moving around, maybe you shouldn't, right? Eat as much. Oh, look at that. Someone's on a jet or water skis. Let me see if I can zoom in. Haha. So what this guy ended up doing, he's like, you know what? I can't make it to my kids' soccer games. I can't run around with my kids. I can't even walk with my kids. So he decided to just start doing yoga. That's it. And he has a video compilation of his journey. I think it was like a whole year journey doing yoga. And you can see him begin. The first thing he did was he tried to do some balancing thing on one leg, and he falls over. He can't do it. But he kept trying. And day after day, and for a year. And you can see, like, he starts getting better and better, and he starts being able to add moves, right, positions to his yoga. And he starts losing weight, and you see this. And at the end of the year, he's walking without a walker. He goes to his doctor, and his doctor is amazed. You guys, just start moving. Just start going. Just start one thing in your life. And that's what I want you to have. I want you to have a life. What you went through with the narcissist doesn't mean you have to carry that to the end. It doesn't mean that your life is over, because it's not. The narcissist does not get to do that, does not get to have that. And you get to choose. Aww. Well, you guys, so glad that you guys are hopping on. Looks like, oh, I did not change my chat to see all the chats, so I'm not seeing everybody. Crystal Jean, good to see you. Says 20 years for me too. He's already playing family with new supply and her children. It's truly shocking, yet not shocking. LOL. Yep. Yeah. Let me go back a bit. Boy, I missed quite a bit of conversation here. Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. People were talking about some exercises, giving some tips about it. So yeah. Money, good to see you. It says 20 years here and husband 9 before that. What? Oh, the husband had 9 years. And a husband before 9. Okay. Wow. Sorry guys, just going back to see, I've missed a lot of us. Yeah. Just be real. Good to see you. Says it's all a game. It is. It's a game. They play this. And you guys, the cost of staying with a narcissist, when you're tempted, when you're starting to look back and you're like, oh, I missed this or I missed that, you're missing nothing. You're missing the illusion. What the cost really would be is that they get another month of your life, another year of your life, another year lying to you about how things are going to be so different, another year of them future faking, and then you end up kicking yourself again, going, why did I go back? Why did I fall for that again? Sorry, I'm just going back. I want to go back farther because there's some really good comments here. Just giving my number to all. Oh no, money. Oh no. So he gave your number to certain sites and now they're calling you. That's terrible. Oh, that's gross. I'm so sorry. Actually, now I understand what you're saying. You might have to change your number, and definitely, don't get listed. Change your number so that the narcissist cannot know who or where you are. What your number is. Keep it very secret, close to yourself. Don't allow your friends to share it with the narcissist, especially if you have mutual friends. Let them know, like, never ever give my number to him because he harasses me. Yeah. Well, you guys, we are at the end of our hour, but I want you to be able to wrap up your conversations and take in this view. Look at this. This is a good day. This is a good day. If you guys want to watch this again, just for the relaxation of it, I would recommend that. Look at this. Well, as you know, it would really help my channel if you would give me a thumbs up, comments in the comment section when the video uploads, share my video, recommend it to others, get the name out there, Escape from Crazytown, so people know about me. I don't advertise because I'm trying to stay anonymous, so I hardly ever tell people about my channel. So it has to be God, right? And you guys getting it out there. So I appreciate that. And watch a commercial once in a while. Even just 30 seconds of those really long ones, that helps. So I really appreciate that. That makes it possible for me to keep doing this. Crystal Jean, it was really good to see you again. Says, I literally taught him how to act human. Now he plays human very well. Ah, that's so true. Yeah. Because they learn. They learn from us. They learn what works, right? They learn how to behave themselves or, be in a way where they can attract other people in a way that allows them to trap other people. Check out this water skier. I don't know if it was a guy or a girl, but ooh, just did a jump. Oh, nice. That's cool. So cool, you guys. I picked a really great spot here. There's a little kid over here too. Well, you guys, I'm so glad that you joined me. John, oh, thank you so much. Says, love your channel. Crystal says, so nice to be here, Escape. I missed you. I missed you too. I love it when you guys come back. I know you have been with me from the beginning. And Crystal says, where are you, Escape? I'm in Miami. I think that's Miami over there. If not, it's pretty darn close. Looks like it. Yeah. It's so nice. Or maybe that's Miami. I don't know. There's a bunch of tall buildings here. Check that out. Back out a little bit. And then there are a bunch of tall buildings over here. I think this is all Miami. Yeah, it's beautiful. And I love this beach. Angel says, thank you all. Yeah. Well, you guys, I'm just going back to see your comments. Oh, yeah. Crystal Jean, it's all an illusion, right? I know. Yeah. Says, I haven't purposely looked, but I have seen, and it's nuts. They're dressing up for Christmas / birthdays. It's truly nauseating. Of course, they clean up really nice, right? They dress up, they look good, they get ready for the photo. They're probably yelling at each other during, before the photo and then after the photo. They're mad at each other, but then you put on this big, quick, fake smile, and then the smile is gone and back to fighting. That's how it is with a narcissist. We don't lose much. And if you guys missed the story at the beginning, go back and listen. I had been talking about this woman who defected from North Korea and how she talks about some people will actually go back to Korea, North Korea that is, when they have gotten some freedom, but they're not used to it because they're somehow comforted by the fact that they were dictated over, they were told what to do, and even though they were starving, it was like more secure for them to not have to have the stresses of making decisions. That's so crazy, right? That freedom to some people is bad. Like they don't want freedom. So don't be like that because you're going to throw away your life. Why would you want to go back to North Korea, right? Why would you want to do that? Do you hear that? It's a cute little kid. She's really cute, but I can't show you her because, I don't know. That's probably not allowed on YouTube to show other people's kids. Oh, she's so cute. She's with her aunt. Well, you guys, it has been a wonderful time with you. Oh, did you see that? That is so funny. When they stop the The skier just went down, sank down. Aw. Well, you guys, thank you for joining me. Have a blessed Christmas, you guys. Enjoy your Christmas. Have a wonderful week. I will catch you guys next week. I'm not quite sure if we're going to do a Wednesday show again. Actually, we probably could do a Thursday show. I don't think it's New Year's Eve until, I guess it is Thursday. Maybe I'll do a Thursday show next week. I will let you know, though, at least a day ahead. So, very, very Merry Christmas to you guys. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day. Know that you have the rest of your life. Know that you are free. Know that you can build whatever you want from this point on. And there are so many good people still in the world. There really are. And I'm so glad and thankful for all of you. So glad and thankful that we have this group and this community. Know that we are here. And we are here every week. And you get to be a part of this. You get to be a part of growing. You get to be a part of becoming stronger. You get to be a part of joy. So welcome. And I will see you next week. And have a Merry Christmas.